have got involved in the communities. We see it through the GAA. This weekend gone past, SCORE, which is a GAA music and singing competition. Fiona Smith was running that out in New York, and the Cavan branch were heavily involved in that out there. Irish music has travelled. River dance made it very acceptable as well. There was a major influence. Going back before that, bands like the Botti band, bands like the Chieftains and so on, travelling and modernising and developing it and bringing it with them. No matter what city you go to across the world, you'll see an Irish pub. Okay, you'll see the Guinness sign somewhere. You'll see Irish. There's a lot of Irishness out there. Irishness is very acceptable. Irish music is very acceptable. People come, if you go to the All-Ireland Fleadh, you'll see people from all sorts of nationalities coming, and they're playing, they're involved in traditional music activities, be it Australia, be it New York, be it wherever it is. Last year, for example, at our festival, on the set dancing side, we had 12 people who came in from Italy, and they spent 4 or 5 days here in Cavan, and they came in because they go somewhere every year, and they're heavily involved in set dancing. They're all Italian people. They actually had no Irish blood in them, so to speak. They were all Italians, and they spent the whole weekend in Cavan Crystal. They flew in on a Thursday and they went home on the Tuesday, and they spent their whole time in Cavan town, and they came because they wanted to go somewhere. And they looked, the scene, we had made connections with them, and the scene that there was good activity in Cavan, let's go there. And they had heard about the All-Ireland Fleadh and things like that, and there was a lot of good things done at that to promote it. So they came. The year before that, we had Mary Reavy, who would have been a daughter-in-law of Ed Reavy's, who came in from the US, and she spent the whole weekend with us here and toured around. We also then worked with a man by the name of Mick Maloney, originally from Limerick, who was a professor of musicology out in New York City, and who also organises tours. So he brings tour groups to Ireland twice a year. And last year, he brought a tour group to Cavan. We encouraged him. We had him across in 2015 doing a lecture on the life of Ed Reavy and his music and its influence across the world. So because of his links on the tours, we encouraged him to try and come to Cavan and bring one of his tour groups. So he did. And they came, and they stayed for 3 days. Full coach tour group, and they stayed over in the Errigal House Hotel. Beautiful setting, lovely venue. They stayed there for 3 nights, and we had a night with them in Mudjabon, and we'd done a number of different things. We actually brought them out to Lough Oughter. As part of the tour, we brought them to the museum in Ballygimslough. Savina and the museum opened the doors, brought them all in, done the full tour, and they were amazed at what they seen there in the museum. And we had a few tunes there as well, and they got to see the trenches and all of that type of thing. This year we brought another group across, and they stayed in Crover House Hotel. And we had another night in the museum, and they seen the trenches, and this year they've seen the 1916 exhibition that's there. Fabulous work being done by Savina. And like that, she's then helping us with our historical exhibition, and we will be bringing all of the various musical-related displays and imagery down to the Cavan Crystal Hotel for people to see over the course of the weekend, and Marcus will, in that venue, give the lecture on the musical influences of Ed Reavy. But, people, the Americans, the Italians, whatever it is, they love coming to Ireland. They enjoy it. There is a group of set dancers in France. There's a group of set dancing people in Tokyo, and hopefully at some stage we'll bring them across as well. So people enjoy it. People love the Irish.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the festival is on from the 13th till the 15th
Correct. Yes.
of October this year.
13th to the 15th. And just to go back on something that you mentioned earlier on about the youth and the fact that, we run the festival and we tweak it each year to different little things. Yes, the youth enjoy the festival. They enjoy other music genres as well. So what we decided this year was we'd make the Friday night a youth night, so to speak. Okay? So it's kind of like a night for teenagers. 8 o'clock, we have 2 groups locally who are playing on stage. They're just local teenage bands, Kydrov and Mad for Trad. And then we have a group of 25 coming up from Laois, all teenagers. They're part of the Laois music generation operation down there. Okay, and they're coming up and they're staying the weekend. There's 25 of them plus their leaders. And they're doing about 20 minutes each. And after that then, it's a trad disco.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay?
Brilliant.
So, and that's open to everybody and anybody to come in and, enjoy. All teenage, 13 to 18, 19 or whatever it might be. And while they're doing that, then there'll be a number of sessions of music going on in other various places around the hotel, and singing sessions and traditional music sessions. And then Saturday morning we get down to more the important stuff. Then we have the workshops running, and then in the afternoon we have the international fiddle competition. The international fiddle competition for the senior player, first prize is €1,000, which is nice. And then for the junior, the first prize there is a couple of €100, but they also get a €100 voucher to be used in the Mehel Traditional Music Summer School in Limerick, in Villiers College in Limerick next year, which is run by Gary Shannon, brother of Sharon Shannon's the accordion player. Everyone knows her. Well, her brother Gary is a flute player, and he runs the Mehel Summer School, Traditional Summer School. And again, like that, they take in about 100 teenagers for a week, and they've no problem filling that course. And fabulous week they have down there. They're exhausted when they come home, But it's music, music, music the whole way through. And so the fiddle competition will be on probably from 2 until about 5. Then the historical lecture will be on. And then that night we have Garradice in concert. Garradice is effectively Eleanor Shanley, the singer. It is Pádraig McGarvin, the uilleann pipe player. Dave Sheridan, the flute player. And then John McCartan, who is a guitar player. And they're all kind of from the Leitrim area, okay? And you would see them having been around for a number of years. They were known as the Leitrim Equation, or they were the main part of the Leitrim Equation. And the reason they call themselves Garradice is Pádraig McGarvin is from the edge of Newtown Gower, Templeport, that side. John McCartan is from Newtown Gower, and the big lake down there is Garradice. So they've named themselves after that. Okay, so they're playing on Saturday night, and leading into that, then we have a couple of other acts. We have a group of Cavan fiddlers who will play a selection of Reavy tunes. We have Fiona Ní Connor and Tim Doyle, again youthful people. They're only 19, 20 years of age, very accomplished musicians, All-Ireland winners, and they will be launching their CD called Scahana. And then we will have a group as well of our own All-Ireland winners as well, who will be performing over the weekend as well. So there's a number of things going on at that concert, and then be into sessions and so on. Downstairs we have the set dancing going on at the same time. Okay, so we have a band downstairs playing for the set dancing, and that's run by Marion Crowe. The band on the Saturday night is the Johnny Reedy Band, and Johnny comes from Kerry. So they travel all over. They were in the Clonus 2 weeks ago playing down there. So then on Sunday, again, we have more workshops. Sunday morning, Eleanor Shanley will be doing a singing workshop. And there will also be, to bring another aspect to it, is the Córa Gaeilge. Okay, and nowadays we have kids going off to Gaeltachts and the spoken word. It's okay sitting down and writing the Irish, but in their junior certs and their leaving certs, they have to be able to speak the Irish, and there is a part of their exam results go on that. So we run 2 workshops, one for primary school students for Córa Gaeilge and one for secondary school for Córa Gaeilge as well. So we'll try to cover all aspects, from the history to the music playing to the dancing to the Córa and to the compositions of tunes. So it's, there's something in it for everybody.
And if people want to book tickets or find out more information, whereabouts could they do that?
Okay. For the concerts, to book tickets, they can go to the Cavan Crystal Hotel reception and get tickets there. They can contact any of the committee members, such as myself, or they can email us. Is probably the easiest way if they want to just pop an email and say, can you hold 2 tickets, and we'll have them at the door for them, or whatever it is. And the email is edreavyfest@gmail.com. So that's edreavyfest@gmail.com. And we can hold tickets for them. There's no problem doing that. Each of the Cultus branches throughout the county, the secretaries and chairpersons of each of those branches actually have tickets as well, so we're getting good assistance from the branches in the county. So that would be from Swadlin Bar right up to Mullahorn branch, Killashandra, Cootill, Belturbet, and so on. Dr. Brian Galligan branch, Philip Clark and people like that over in Kilnalek. So we're getting great assistance from them in terms of selling the tickets. So there's no problem. If people want to go, we'll get them in. Absolutely. The Teenage Disco on the Friday night, and the two youth bands that are playing at that, it's simple. Come along on the night. It is alcohol free on that, because it is a teenage one, and it's a £5 in, and it starts at 8. And the disco will kick off then around 9:20 once the bands have finished playing, and it runs till 12 o'clock that night. So it's a cheap night, it's €5, so it's not robbing anybody. Okay. And the workshops, if they want to book workshops for all the instruments, they go to Facebook, they'll see all the information. It's simply Ed Reavy Trad Fest, or go to Cavan Town Cultus website, and there's links there for the download the application forms, etc. Same for the fiddle competition. But if they email in the workshop that they're interested in, be it concertina, button accordion, whistle, whatever it may be, email in to edreavyfest@gmail.com, reserve their place, and I'll email them back then the workshop registration form, which they can complete and bring along on the day.
That's great. Thank you very much, Eugene. Now, Gareth, we're going to have a couple of tunes from yourself. First up is The High Hill, and afterwards you're going to play Modjabon Chapel. So go on ahead. Thanks so much to Eugene and Gareth for joining us in the studio. That's all for this week, and make sure to tune in next time.